What's up, everybody? Ryan Sickler here, and I just wanted to let you know that tickets to my fall dates of the Live and Alive tour are on sale now. Go to ryansickler.com, get your tickets to all shows. I'm coming to Austin, Dallas, La Jolla, Salt Lake City, Denver, Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, Madison, Portland, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and Tempe. Tickets for all shows are available right now on my website at ryansickler.com.
The HoneyDew with Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the HoneyDew, y'all. We're over here doing it in the Night Pants Studios. I am Ryan Sickler, ryansickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all your social media. I'm going to start this episode like I start them all by saying thank you. Thank you for whatever you do to support anything that I do. I genuinely appreciate it. Thank you for supporting this show. If you got to have more, you got to check out the Patreon. It's this show. It's the HoneyDew, but with y'all. And y'all have the craziest stories I've ever heard in my life. It doesn't stop. Every week, there's something brand new. It's only $5. It's been $5 since day one. And I'm not raising it this year. I ain't going to say forever, but I ain't raising it this year. You get the HoneyDew a day early. You get it ad-free at no additional cost. And the Way Back, the new podcast where we do sit down in that old school station wagon back seat, looking out the back, just have old school stories about nostalgia. Thank you for supporting that. And come see me on the road. I'm out there all fall and into the winter. If I'm in your town when you're around, tickets are available on my website at ryansickler.com. All right, that's the biz. You guys know what we do here. We highlight the lowlights, and I always say that these are the stories behind the storytellers. And I am very excited to have this guest on today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Luenell. Welcome to the HoneyDew. Listen, first of all, I'm going to say that you look gorgeous.
Thank you, Ryan.
You're dripped. Everything looks on point. Yeah. I'm such a huge fan of yours. I know you're like, what are you talking about? I'm telling you, I love you.
Thank you so much.
I can't believe you're here. Your energy, I've loved you ever since I saw you. And I know that right now we could turn on anything and we could find you instantly. You are a legend, young lady.
Oh, well, thank you. I think that word gets thrown around a little. I don't know. I guess if you do anything for 30 years plus successfully, you can be approaching legendary status.
I'll get to that in a second. Before we do, please plug and promote everything you'd like. You got a special, talk about all of it, please.
I have a currently Emmy Award nominated comedy special called Town Business, produced by Dave Chappelle and Dave's home team, that is running on Netflix. And it is, even if I may say so myself, it's extremely funny and relatable. It's not just material. This is stuff that you would be shaking your head like this for, half an hour going, yeah, right. So I'm really proud of that. We're going to be talking over the 4th of July weekend about hopefully doing special number 2.
Yeah.
I currently have a ongoing comedy residency in Las Vegas, where I primarily reside between LA and Vegas. And my residency is at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club every Sunday and Monday at 9:30 p.m. Jimmy Kimmel has been a joy to work for, and hopefully will continue to be a joy to work for, because he is, we are working on pitching a late night show for me.
Yeah.
That would be a welcome relief to everybody, since late night is full of nothing but white men. There's no females, there's no minorities, and I want to be the Norma Ray of that and crack that open.
Good for you.
And I'm touring at the city wineries and clubs all across the country. You could go on heyluenell.com and see my tour dates, and also that's where you can purchase tickets for my Vegas residency. And, I got some other little voiceover projects that are about to drop, I think, early next year, some films and things like that. And so And, I'm trying to stay busy.
You stay busy. You've been staying busy.
I try.
I agree with you. Legend, genius is another one people throw around a lot. But I was doing my research on you, and I was talking to you before we started recording. But you are in the Hall of Fame in, I forget, Arkansas,
In
right?
Arkansas, I'm in the Arkansas African American Museum in Arkansas, in Little Rock, where I was born in Arkansas, so it's sort of a big deal. And other people are there as well, like Cheryl Underwood is from Arkansas, and Lenny Williams from Tower of Power is from Arkansas, Pharaoh Sanders, and stuff like that. So that's a pretty big deal for my family to have me in the museum. Since I am the 8th of 8 children and I'm the baby.
Are you the baby?
I am. And everything that entails. Spoiled, all that, that's me.
What's the gap between your oldest and you? How many
like
years?
12 years.
12
Let me
years,
see.
okay.
Yeah, about 12 years.
Okay.
And he's my oldest brother, and then I got four boys and 4 girls.
Okay.
In my family. And then also my daughter and I have a 28-year-old daughter. What is that, Gen Z, Gen X?
That's a good question. I don't know what gen that is.
I don't either, but it's probably Jen that got me the baby in the first place. Anyway, we just went to D.C., and so I could see myself in the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And I didn't know I was in there until my brother went, and he's like, "You're in here."
They don't give you a heads up?
Nobody gave me a heads
Come
up.
on.
I would have picked a different picture. Hello.
That's the other thing I was going to ask you. So you showed me the display. It's part of the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a huge picture. And I'm thinking the whole time that that's something that you saw, approved.
No. I don't even know
That's
who made
crazy.
that decision.
How can they do that?
They didn't send me a plaque. They didn't send me.
You
hey,
got like a corner in there, and they don't
I
just
know.
send somebody an email going, just so you know.
But I'll know now because the outfit that I wore in the Netflix special, I'm donating that to the museum.
Oh, nice.
Because
Okay.
they're looking to expand their comedy section, which isn't extensive, by the way. So I'm going to donate that. I've never done that before. Be looking. You know how you go to the Hard Rock and you look at, people's outfits and guitars.
Prince's outfit. Yeah.
So, which I have a great
I
Prince
see the
story
tattoo
later.
right there.
Yeah, Prince, but Michael as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
There you go. So, those things been happening.
So, legend, like I said. So talk to me. Tell me a little bit about, you're from Arkansas originally. You're
Born there.
Born there. You're one of 8 children.
Yes.
Okay. And where do you grow up?
I grew up in the Bay Area.
Okay, up north. Here.
In Oakland. And then we moved from Oakland to the lily white suburb of Castro Valley, California, which is like 14 miles from Oakland.
Okay.
And I got all my education out there. I graduated, I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in English Lit. I cuss wildly because it's fun and I like to.
Yeah.
But I can write a letter on that too that'll light you up. So.
You're too much. I love it.
Yeah, I got tissue because you will be crying. You will be crying before this is over. I'll show you one of my tissues. I'm currently a little ill. I'm going to give her one of my tissues.
Okay, so you're growing up out in the Lily White Valley. You graduate. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You graduate, and then where do you go next? And how old are you? You going out of high school
I went out of high school, went to junior college, went from junior college to Cal State Hayward. Graduated, and then I continued to stay in the Bay Area for a while. And then I went from the Bay Area to Long Beach. I moved to Long Beach because my girlfriends moved to Long Beach, and I wasn't doing nothing. And I don't really even know why I went there, but I did. You know, when you're young, you stick and move, and you do this, and you try that, and you hop in a car, and you go here, and you go there. So I moved to Long Beach, and I was still with my girlfriend. I ended up getting an apartment down the hall from her. And my roommate was a beautiful Black British girl who looked like Sade, but thicker and taller. And her name was Pat, and she spoke like this, and so everybody was just enchanted with the way that she speak. But she was a call girl. So she was going on dates and stuff, and then she started servicing this comedian guy. Then he, the old pretty woman thing, he fell in love with her, didn't want her to hook no more, so they were going steady. And he would be over to the house all the time, and I'd just be talking my regular shit, because he was a trick after all in the beginning. So I'd always walk the house tricks, and shit like that. And he thought I was pretty funny. Come to find out, he ran a comedy club in Long Beach. And he said, you're pretty funny. If you ever want to go on stage, the minute you walk in, I'll put you up because you're hilarious. I'm like, I don't want to be no motherfucking comedian. I want to sing background for Luther Vandross. Listen.
Is that what you wanted to do?
No, the drugs were talking about that.
I was going to say,
the drugs are really good back then, baby. I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to sing for Luther. Anyway, but when that cleared up, when I came off that bender, me and my girlfriends one night were on the balcony of our Long Beach apartment, beautiful, summer night, drinking the homemade margaritas, And I've never been a joke teller. I don't know how to write a joke. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I tell stories, And I had thought about what he said, and I knew that funny shit happened to me like every day. Like every day, something wild happened. I don't just go to the grocery store, get some grapes, and come home. If I go to the grocery store, some shit's going to happen still in my life. It's just bananas. So I had been thinking about what he said, and I said, well, this thing happened to me. It's kind of funny to me. And this thing happened to me is kind of funny to me. I don't know. Let's go down to this club and see what he's talking about. So me and the girls hopped in the car. We went to this club in Long Beach. As he said, the minute he seen me, the guy that was up, when he was done, he put me up next.
Damn, right like that.
Mm-hmm. I went up, killed it the first time I ever been on stage.
How long did you do? Do you know?
I don't know, maybe about 10 minutes.
Wow.
And I've never been booed in my life. I've got the silent treatment, which is the cousin of being booed. Yeah. But I've never been booed.
Yeah.
So I told this little story and blah, blah, blah. And when I got off stage, this guy came up to me. He's like, you're a funny little bitch. I'm like, okay, thank you. He said, here's my card. You ought to come see me. I got a club too. And that was the late Robin Harris.
No.
So I met Robin Harris on the first day that I ever did comedy.
I'm such a Robin Harris.
The first day I ever did stand-up comedy, I met Robin.
I'm jealous. You gave me chills. I love Robin
It was a
Harris.
big deal.
I love Robin
I'm still in touch with his...
So he had a club back in the day too?
No. Yes. He hosted a club called the Comedy Act Theaters in Leimert Park District of L.A. off Crenshaw. I'm still in touch with his widow, and she was pregnant when he passed. So I know Robin Harris Jr. as well.
He never met his kid.
He never met his kid.
Son.
And no, he didn't. And so anyway, I went there to the Comedy Act.
Can I pause you for 1 second here? All because you lived with a prostitute.
Yeah. And then,
all because you moved to Long Beach for the hell
the greatest movie I ever did, I played a prostitute. Prostitution is in my life.
All because a lady brought sex workers. What's up?
Yeah.
Brought a trick home and led you on your path to comedy. That is wild.
That's right.
That's wild.
That is wild. See?
And you never stopped after that? Like after you met Robin, you just kept on going?
Yeah. Because when I went to the Comedy Act Theater where Robin was hosting, this is, 30 years ago. So there's a young Jamie Foxx in there. There's a young D.L. Hughley in there. There's a young Cheryl Underwood in there. There's, young comics that were hustling. There was no money. Like, I think if you got $50, you were killing the game. If you got $50 a drink and maybe a chicken basket, you're fucking rock star, And there was no flying, no planes, none of that. You get your ass in the car with 3 other hungry comics and you drive to Kansas City. Yeah. You drive to Detroit. And and you stay 4 in a hotel room. All that shit. Share the bathroom, everything like that. So that's how, that's sort of how it started.
And so how young are you at that point?
Let me see.
Like early 20s?
Maybe about 23,
Okay.
24. Because this is before BET Comic View and before Def Jam.
Mm-hmm.
None of that was happening when I started. But then it did. And DL became the first host of BET's Comic View. And that's when we got the opportunity to be on national television weekly. Mm-hmm. Not just, a special or something like that.
And then Def Jam comes on
I
weekly.
never did Def Jam.
You never got a spot on Def Jam?
Never did Def Jam.
How's that happen?
Because, number one, I believe that the guy who booked Def Jam, Bob Sumner, we didn't really hit it off that great.
I know Bob
And he was
Sumner.
in charge. And number two, I fucked up my audition for Def Jam. They came to the Bay. And because I was going back and forth to the Bay as well. And they had auditioned at a club called Tommy T's in the Bay Area. And I was, I was excited about this night. And all my friends were calling like, girl, we're coming. And that started giving me a little anxiety. And I was fucking this old guy at the time. And he had brought over a bottle of fucking, I don't know, Corbel or some shit. What OGs drink. And so I'm knocking that back all day, and I popped some Valium, this back in the Valium days. And so I go to the show, and, you're hanging around like maybe you're number 8 or whatever. Now you're getting a little bit drunker. And so then they called me up, and I went up there, and I was killing that shit, killing it. And then I started repeating myself.
Because you didn't remember?
Because I didn't remember.
Nuh-uh.
And then I started.
I've never done that as a comedian.
Sliding off the bar stool. And bloop. And I fell the fuck out.
You did
I
not.
looked up and I'm under the bar stool. You know how
On the ground?
I'm under the bar stool. And my white friends came and drug me off stage, took me out the back door. So that's why I never did Def Jam. I fucked it up, and Bob didn't like me. True story.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
All right, so then...
That was the blue Valium, by the way, not the yellow. Not the yellow.
And then at what age do you become a mom? When do you start becoming a mom and handling that in comedy?
I didn't become a mom. My mother passed away. I got pregnant the next month. I was 36 when I had my kid. I had one abortion when I was 18. And then I think I had a miscarriage later. And then I just never got pregnant no more. And I'm like, well, first of all, I don't want no motherfucking kids. I don't want one. My mother is gone. I have no idea how to raise a kid without my mom. This don't make no sense. So even when I got pregnant, even when I felt the baby, I was still in denial. And I was doing dope at the time as well. A lot of cocaine was going around then and in the clubs and all that. And, a lot of alcohol. And I just didn't do anything right, any prenatal, until my girlfriend literally drugged me out of the apartment and took me to good old Planned Parenthood. And they did a pregnancy test on me and told me I was pregnant. I said, do it again. Your test is wrong. Do it again. And they did the blood. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So now the baby's been kicking. And I had went to my mother's grave site. And I said, if I'm to have this baby, show me a sign. Because I can't believe it. And it was like that. I didn't have a car. And then I was back in the Bay. And I was living in West Oakland. And I was walking to the store to get some orange juice. And I looked over at my reflection in this car window. And it's like overnight, my stomach went bloop like that. And I could really see it. I was like, oh my God. Now, the reason that my daughter's father and I remain on good terms to this day is because he was a comedian too. He was a comedian before I was. He had been on tour with Bernie Mac and all this kind of stuff. And I had looked up to him. He was the guy.
Were you ever married?
Back then, but I'm the bitch now. No, never married.
Never
Never
married.
married him. And so when I told him that I was like, I think, we've been doing all this fucking, I think we done hit something. Something done went up against the wall and stuck. And he never said, well, what you gonna do, or who baby is it, or he didn't do none of that. He was like, okay. And we proceeded from there. So he never made me feel like shit. And because we were just recreationally fucking around, getting high and fucking around. And we were friends, we was in the same circle, we know the same people, still do. So that's one of the reasons that we still got a good relationship now. If he'd have acted a different sort of way, it might have had a different turnout.
But your daughter's
28.
I was going to say, she's an adult now.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for you two to continue unless you get along or you're friendly with one another, if you were at odds. You know what I mean? People's kids turn 18 and they're like, fuck both, they're going the other way.
I'd have said fuck you before that.
Right, but you said he was good to you. So when you say you
He's
have
all right.
you have a good co-parenting relationship,
Yeah.
we were talking about this before because I said I get along with my daughter's mother maybe 75% of the time, but we don't kick it in any way. I have no desire to go. I had to be over there the other night to get my daughter, and she was running. She's only 9. She's taking her time, and her brother was coming home. I wanted to see him. She's like, he's going to be here 5 minutes. So I had to sit there for 5 minutes, and I did not want to sit there for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I like to do my own thing over here. All is well. I call us professional.
Sure.
We're professional.
Yeah.
I want my daughter to see a good man. I don't want her to hear me trashing her mom. I don't do any of that stuff,
Yeah.
Not in front of her, I don't.
Yeah, well, I have. Mhm. Yes, I've talked shit about my daughter's father, but at the end of the day, it don't matter because my daughter's a complete daddy's girl. And
what's your relationship with him like? What was it like then, and what is it like now?
it remains the same. I'm going to see him tomorrow. We're going to kick it tomorrow. I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow. He going to pick me up from the airport. I got to speak on a panel tomorrow night in San Francisco. And I don't have nobody go with me, so he going to go with me. And, we're going to go eat lunch and, in Sausalito or something like that and all that stuff. We like the same stuff. Clearly, we were both comics. We know the same people. We like the same shit and all that kind of stuff. Do I want him? No. Do I want to kiss him passionately ever again? No.
So you're not intimate in any way at all?
No, fuck it off me. We were in the car and he was touching my arm and I was like, stop touching me. I told my daughter, tell your father to stop touching me. I don't want that. And I don't want that. I don't think that he does either since he's engaged to a whole nother bitch. But I don't think she fuck with me either, if you know what I mean.
How does she feel about him spending time with you?
Oh, she hates me.
She hates you.
Yeah, she hates me.
And do you have anyone serious in your life that would have an issue with that? Or do you stay single?
No, it's easier for men to get women than it is for women to get
hell
men.
no. I don't know about that.
Especially, listen
Not
now.
with the internet these days, especially.
Okay, I got married between all this to another guy, and he just died 3 days ago.
Luenell.
Yeah, so I'm going through that now.
I'm so sorry. You don't have to talk about that.
I'm not talking about it. Shit. He died. I didn't die. I'm okay.
I fucking love you.
I'm okay. I mean, it hurts and all that kind of stuff.
So wait, so you have a child with your daughter's father, and then you marry another man how many years later?
Well, I married my ex-husband when my daughter was 5.
Okay.
And my
how did he deal with your baby?
We came and told him, I'm about to get married. Here he is. His name is Ronnie. I didn't ask for permission.
But I'm saying, how did your husband deal with your daughter's father in your
My
life?
husband has always been a complete gentleman. He wouldn't even, if my daughter got up and came and got in the bed with us, he would get out the bed and go sleep on the couch.
Love that.
Because he didn't want,
I was the same way.
Respect for, he's always been a complete respectful guy. And for that, my baby daddy had to get with it because he didn't have no reason to not get with it. And he wasn't going to marry me. He ain't going to marry the bitch he with.
The one he's engaged.
She don't know it, but I know it. I'm like, look, bitch, I got his kid and I'm rich and he didn't marry me. So Good luck with that.
Oh, God, you're too much.
It's just the truth. He ain't gonna marry nobody. He like to do his own thing. He like to move when he moves. He don't like to answer no bunch of questions. So, I don't know.
And does she know he comes as you all were telling me before we record, he comes and stays at your place.
Yeah.
And you don't care. That doesn't bother
at
you,
all
though?
my places.
You're not
I got
like, get the fuck out of here and go home?
Me?
Yeah, you don't ever get like
go
that.
the fuck home to your bitch.
Yeah.
But, he don't. Because, see, the house in Vegas is in Vegas. So it's not just me. It's Vegas.
Yeah.
He likes to sports bet. He likes to eat well. He likes to see what's going on. I take him to shows. We've seen Copperfield, RuPaul Drag Race, Chris Angel. You know, there's things to do in Vegas. He likes to do shit. So we go do shit.
Does he ever you ever put him up?
No, because he doesn't do stand-up
He doesn't
comedy
do it
no
anymore.
more. No, he's lost it. He don't have it no more.
Tell him.
He knows it.
He lost all of it. Comedy,
I mean, he can
all
do
of it.
comedy.
Yeah.
He can do it if he want to, but it's sort of hacky. Only because if you don't change with the time, then your shit gets old.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, and he was a beast when I started. Because like I said, I looked up to him. But, you know, he just didn't change. And then when I got pregnant, he sort of put his comedy on the back burner to work. He was working. And, you know, because I left the kid with him when me and my husband got married and moved to L.A. I'm missing a part in here, you know, when I went to jail.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. I want to hear about that.
But that's back then. And then that's when he got the kid and he just kept her. And he told me, if you go down there, you and your husband go down to Los Angeles, don't go down there bullshitting, go down there and make it happen. And then I did.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's jump back to jail here. So
okay, it's my favorite subject.
Like I said, I do research. I was looking on the internet, and I also know the internet's full of shit. But I
Is
saw
it on the internet?
It's on the internet.
Have you been able to find my mugshot? Because I can't find it.
I didn't see
I think I've been scrubbed.
Well, look.
I think they scrubbed the internet, my mugshot. I got many.
If we can find it, we'll use it. No, but it said you robbed a bank. Yeah.
Where does it say that? In
It's-
Wiki?
I'll send it to Kirsten earlier. It's not Wikipedia, but it's something else because I wanted to see about your early life and
Well,
things.
it's technically called embezzlement. Like I
Okay,
didn't
so it's not
use
like you
the word-
rolled in with a gun.
No,
you
I
were
didn't
working
want to
there.
like set it off,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But what
You'd
had
have been the
happened
great fifth person
was
on set it off.
what had happened was I had extensive banking experience. You know, when I was in junior college, I was working over in a city called Burlingame, and I was working, you know, remember Security Pacific Bank and all this kind of stuff, and remember Sumitomo and all those banks. So I knew a lot about banking. I was scamming from the beginning.
Tell me some of your scams.
Okay.
Give me some good ones.
Okay, so they put me in new accounts. What they do that for? So I open your account. I misspell your name. You're going to bring the checks back so we can order you new checks.
Oh, shit.
We're supposed to destroy
now
the checks.
you got a whole checkbook of...
We destroy, but maybe 3 we don't. Because the account number is good. And you only want to do this to people who are like, got a lot of money. They ain't going to miss it. So maybe you get somebody you give them the check. They'll make it out to somebody else who'll crack the check for maybe $10,000.
Now, what's that mean? What do you mean?
Mean like I have a blank check
Yeah.
that he just brought in, so we could destroy the checks and reorder them new checks with the correct spelling. So we get rid of the checks, we destroy them.
All of them but like 3.
Or maybe like 3.
Okay.
So now I give the check to you, and you make it out to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you make it out to somebody else because you want to keep your hands pretty clean. They take the check and cash it.
I got
They
you.
break you off $2,000. They break you somebody else, you know, and then I get my money.
I got you.
So I did that maybe 3 times. No big deal.
Okay.
And then I was in bookkeeping, and then I was a teller.
And what do you do? How can you... I guess these days it's probably way harder with all the electronics and everything, logins and
Cameras,
all that.
fingerprints.
So how you do? What are you doing to fudge bookkeeping back then?
Well, I just could tell who had the big accounts because I saw everybody's balances deposits, withdrawals, monthly averages.
So you hit somebody with a couple mil, they ain't gonna miss that 2,000. You hit somebody with $500, they're gonna miss everything.
$25. They're like, bitch, something wrong. So yeah, you see somebody with a lot of money,
Okay.
but I mean, I'm not advocating this, and this doesn't work anymore. Kids, don't try to do this, but this back in the day. Now we talking 30 years ago.
Mhm.
And so what had happened was I was working in Long Beach at a bank, and my roommate,
Same roommate.
got married. Not to the comic.
She gave it all up.
She got married and left me. Now I got this.
But also, kudos to that guy and his dick and his game because he pulled her out of tricking for good.
She was a whore anyway, clearly. So God bless you, Pat. Shout out to Pat home. I miss you, bitch. Where you at? And I would love to find her, but I have this apartment, lush. Three bedroom, I think. And now she's gone. And so I'm working, and the teller to me is the face of the bank. The teller is who you do your interactions with, and that can make you decide whether you want to bank there or not. The tellers, and I was a great teller, and I used to get in trouble. I used to get written up, Luenell's using profanity within customer earshot. Oh, fuck, did I? Yeah, you did. And Luenell's making people laugh too much, which, they like you be nice and quiet in the bank. If you can get written up for making people laugh, I didn't like that. So you work 2 weeks as a teller, and you get a bullshit-ass check for $250. This is 30 years ago, right?
For a week?
Yeah, and I'm like, this is bullshit. And then they let me in the vault.
Most Americans think they spend about $62 a month on subscriptions. But get this, the real number is closer to $300. That is literally thousands of dollars a year, half of which we've probably forgotten about. Thankfully, I started using Rocket Money. They found a bunch of subscriptions I've forgotten all about and then helped me cancel the ones I didn't want anymore. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills. With Rocket Money, I have full control over my subscriptions and a clear view of my expenses. I can see all my subscriptions in one place, and if I see one I don't want, Rocket Money can help me cancel it, all with a few taps. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/honeydew. That's rocketmoney.com/honeydew. rocketmoney.com/honeydew. Now, let's get back to the do. What's that like for real?
Oh, millions.
Do you see? Is there money in there?
Millions
Gold?
millions
Look at you looking around.
Millions of dollars, millions and millions, millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Does it smell like money in that?
It smell like money. It feel like money, and I like the smell, and I like the way it felt too. So you don't go in the vault by yourself. You're going with somebody.
Why are they giving you access? What's your
because
job now?
I'm up in the, because I'm good. I'm
It's
moving
still
up
booked.
into
okay,
the.
so you're moving up now.
Yeah. So they had me and this other little scary white broad would go into the vault, and balance the money, whatever. But she turned her head, and I don't know. One day I just grabbed a stack of money and I went like this, and it was $50,000. And I worked the rest of the day.
$50,000.
I worked the rest of the day and went home with the 50 racks in my bra. I was wringing wet by the time I got home because I was like,
And what time of day are you taking this?
About 3:00 in the afternoon.
And you got to go till when before you get off?
5.
So you got 2 hours of $50,000 and working.
In my bra.
Working.
In my bra. Yeah, and working. So, of course.
I'm going to ask one more question.
Yeah.
There's no cameras in that vault back then?
I don't know. Well, I don't think there were cameras inside the vault because there's also the safe deposit boxes, and you got to have the privacy thing.
Right.
So of course, the vault did not balance that day or the next day or the day after that or the day after that. So then they call the feds, and the feds come and da-da-da-da.
Now, are you working during all this? You seeing them come in? Are you shitting yourself?
Yes.
Where's the money?
Spent.
You didn't say.
No, I didn't get the money to take care of like a sick family member.
Or rent.
I just took the money like, fuck this shit. And I'm tipping. I had my parents come down from the Bay Area, come to Long Beach, paid for them a suite, paid for the valet parking, paid for everything. They should have known something was wrong then. I had never been able to do a motherfucking thing for them before then. But I did that. And I did a few good things for people. Bought a lot of dope, bought some clothes, paid my rent for like 8 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. You did use some of it.
Was buying, lobsters. And this is fucked it off.
This is cash. This is cash.
Cash is king.
Yeah, this is
That's
cash.
when they talk about we're going to go to a cashless society. I'm like, please don't, because I really like cash. I got like $1,500 in my purse right now. All $100 bills, because I like money. So finally, the feds come and they want to talk to me. They want to talk to me.
After how many days is this?
Maybe. It was a couple of weeks. Actually.
And you're in there every day?
Oh, sweating bullets.
Oh, God.
That's why the Academy Award goes too. Yeah. So they interview the broad, and I'm like looking at this bitch like, I'll beat your ass. You better not say no. But she didn't know nothing because she didn't say nothing. Mm-hmm. And so it's really my word against hers, right? So they're sweating me, take me in the little room. And I say, yeah, I took it. I
took did?
It. I confessed. I said, I took it. Now what? So they took me to jail. That's what, bitch, you going to jail. So, it's clink.
Wait, right there on the spot?
Yeah, paraded me the fuck out in the bank in front of everybody. I went to jail, but I had no priors, and I didn't use a gun. So they let me out on my own recognizance. And I went home.
And how old was your daughter at this point?
I didn't have no kid yet.
Oh, you didn't yet? Okay,
no.
Okay.
And so this is 10 years before I had her. I'm going to tell you about the timeline. So I go home and blah, blah, blah. And they get in touch. They said, well, when you come back to court, that's when we're going to sentence you. I said, okay. You remember Leonardo DiCaprio made that movie called Catch Me If You Can?
Yep.
Pume. I left everything and absconded and went back to Oakland. So I'm back in Oakland.
Now, can I ask you, you haven't left the state. So are you allowed to be in Oakland, or are you just not supposed to leave Los Angeles?
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. I know I was getting the fuck out. You haven't
left the state,
You're going to have to catch me to sentence me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to walk in and say, here's the day. Go in your jail. Okay, here I am. Catch me. So I went to Oakland and stayed there and did comedy and was in the newspaper for 10 years.
Nuh-uh.
10 years.
All by your real name, Luenell, and everything.
My real name. Now, I'm paranoid because my name is in the paper every week. You know how the newspaper has a calendar section? So in the calendar section, comedy clubs and my name. And I'm thinking they're going to catch me to that. Well, okay, then when I get pregnant, I have the baby, and I sign up for the social services help, the WIC program where you can get milk and cereal and stuff.
Yeah, women
I
and
signed up
children.
for that, and when I signed up for that, the Social Security numbers crossed up, and they knew where I was.
So they had been waiting on you for 10 years.
Well, see, if it was less money, I'd have got away with it.
How much?
Because statute, like if you took 15 racks, that's under the felon. That's a misdemeanor or whatever it was then. And so I'd have just been like, too bad you can't do nothing with me because statute of limitations. But because the amount of money I took, it was a felony. Felonies never go away. You can do a felony at 18 and get busted for it at 65. So they came to my apartment. I was there with my girlfriend. I was sitting watching Young and Restless. We had just had breakfast. The kid, I don't know what the kid was doing. The kid and my baby was only about like maybe 6 months old. Yeah. So knocked on the door. Luenell Campbell here, and my girlfriend, being a good girlfriend, he's like, no, she not here. I could hear him, but I was sitting in a different part of the apartment. I'm like, fuck.
Did you know right then?
I said, oh, fuck, they done came to get me. So I opened the sliding door, and I jump over the balcony, and I'm running around the building, and they came around the other side of the building, and they got me. And I was in my pajamas and robe. So they took me to jail in my pajamas and in my robe. So now, if my friend hadn't been there, though, they would have took the baby too.
Right.
They would have, if her father wasn't going to come get her, she'd have been in the system. But my girlfriend was there, so she had the baby. I go to jail downtown Oakland, get transferred to another jail outside of Oakland called Santa Rita, where they're going to hold me for 10 days. If the other city don't come and get me in 10 days, then I get to go free again. But on the 9th hour of the 9th day, they came and got me and put me on the chain, put me on the bus, and I had to go down the 880 freeway and pass the exit where I knew my daughter was down there.
Oh.
I knew she's right down there.
And you're shackled up on a bus.
I'm shackled up on a bus.
Are you in the orange jumpsuit and all that?
No, I'm not in the jumpsuit. I'm in my pajamas.
You're still in your pajamas? No. You're still in your robe and shit?
If you go to jail in your pajamas
for 10 days?
and you get out 10 years later, you're going to be released in your pajamas. Unless somebody watches some clothes. And that's what they did. When I did get out, I got released in my pajamas. So now I'm downtown L.A. looking like a Skid Row bitch because I got pajamas on. Trying to get on the bus. Oh, my God. I've been through it, bro. It ain't always been diamonds and Rolexes and shit.
Oh, I love
It's true. So that's
so
what
how
happened.
long do you serve? You go to...
I did. They didn't find any priors, even though I had some, but they didn't find any priors. And so for some reason, they couldn't give me a prison sentence. It was 365 days. If you get 366 days, you're going to the pen. But they sentenced me to 365 days, which is county time. So I ended up doing 4 months and 18 days on the 1 year.
Are you getting any of the time served at the other place and all that?
Fuck no. Hell no. No, bitch. You're going to jail. In L.A., in Twin Towers Correctional Facility.
Twin Towers, that's where you were?
5363020 is my booking number. And I was in there and I saw it all and I cried every day.
What's a scary? Because I hear that is just an absolute terrifying place to be. Especially for the guy's side too, you know. But you're on the women's side. I bet you it's just as crazy in there. Are you fighting for your life in there?
No.
You're only for you said 4.5 months? 4
months and 18 days.
Yeah.
Don't
I'm
skip
sorry,
on my
I did. That's
18
3 more days.
Well, as much as I talked for 2 months, I didn't talk.
Really?
I didn't talk to nobody but the COs, the correctional officers. And here's the real shit. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. I'm going to sit back because you're going to spit take when I tell you this.
All right.
Now, when I was pregnant, I did the movie The Rock in San Francisco. I had done 2
Nicolas
movies
Cage,
already.
I've seen that
Sean
one.
Connery, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
The movie I did before that was So I Married an Axe Murderer, which was Mike Myers' first
also
film.
San Francisco.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was doing comedy and trying to break in a little acting and all this stuff. So I did So I Married an Axe Murderer. I did The Rock. The Rock was filmed on Alcatraz, but part of it was filmed in Twin Towers. Because in L.A.,
really?
there was in L.A., right. So in L.A., there was a prison, a jail called Sybil Brand. Sybil Brand was raggedy and disgusting, so they were building a new jail, Twin Towers. But it wasn't occupied yet. So they were able to film interiors in Twin Towers, put it together with the exteriors of Alcatraz. That's how they made the movie The Rock. So now I'm incarcerated in a jail that I'm in a movie about.
Hold on. That whole real life imitates art bullshit. You really went to the Twin Towers, and then now you're in a movie where they're shooting in the Twin Towers.
They've already shot it. And so some of the CEOs had seen The Rock. And they're like, Campbell, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. Let me the fuck out of here, you know? But it was beyond miserable.
That's great.
Because let me tell you about the shit that you take for granted every day.
Tell us.
Hot water.
None? You get none?
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm.
Shower with pressure. The shower in jail feel like somebody's spitting on you. It's just dribbles. It's horrible. Bitches looking at you while you're taking your shower. The soap is about this big. The toothbrush is about this long. So now you're fisting yourself trying to brush your own fucking teeth. The mirrors are like foil, so you can't really see yourself.
Yeah.
The toilet and the sink are connected, so you're never really sure if you're brushing your teeth with toilet water or not.
Ugh.
You got bunkies that may be detoxing off of heroin, so they're throwing up, shitting, having seizures. One bitch I was on the bottom bunk by the toilet. The bitch above me was coming down off of heroin. She has a seizure, bounces off the bunk, goes splat right next to me and breaks her fucking arm. People don't know this shit I've been through.
How many
but
cellmates?
But it ain't funny though because
just the two
there
of
was
you in there?
Just two of us.
Not four.
And so
I love that you say heron, by the way.
heroin.
I love it.
And a thing like you see me doing this now, I can't have my arm on cold surfaces. It irritates me, it triggers me, because the jumpsuit sleeves are here, but everything in jail is cold and metal. So now if you're writing a letter, your arm is cold. If you're eating, your arm is cold. It's always cold. And I couldn't stand it. And I don't like the Hilton hotels, their Kleenex boxes and their garbage cans are metal. I don't like that. I don't like hearing it. I don't like metal on metal. I don't like that. And so I just, those are the things I'm left with. And
are you getting to see your daughter while you're in there? Do you get visitation rights for jail, or is that just prison shit?
I'm in a different city.
Oh yeah, duh. You're down here.
She's in Oakland.
Yeah,
I'm
you're in L.A.
Yeah. So
Man,
I didn't see
what's
her.
that like?
It was horrible. I cried every fucking day for months.
Because she's what, 10 now?
No, she was
she's
like
only a few months
8
old.
months,
That's right, because it was 10 years
I missed
they
her
caught
first
you.
Thanksgiving, her first Halloween. I got her right in time for her first Christmas.
Okay.
And it was horrible. You know, I stopped to look. The window in county jail is only this big.
What do you see out those? I see them. I know what I see when I drive by. What are you seeing? Can you see the freeway?
Looking out the window.
You did?
Because I couldn't stand to see people drinking coffee, going to work, getting on the bus, pushing their strollers. I couldn't stand to see it no more. So now I'm not talking and I'm not looking out the window. And I've got a bad attitude and a bad mouth. So I did make friends, though, when I first started talking, because BET's Comic View, I had already filmed it. So people had already seen it.
Nah, they
So
knew.
they would say, "What's up, Comic View? What's up?" Shut the fuck up, you know. And, but later, you know, after a couple months, you start breaking down, and there's no outside rec at Twin Towers. Everything is indoors, so there's never no fresh air.
You never getting sun?
Never
For
no
4
sun.
months?
No.
4 months and 18 days
4
of
months,
no
18
sun?
days. No sun, no air.
Wow.
No sun, no air. They had simulated outdoor activity, but it wasn't. And then you get written up if you want to holler at guys out to, you know, the little...
Oh, you're hollering
You
out?
can't do that. Yeah. Help me. Come put some money on my books. You know, stuff like that. 'Cause they don't want you to show them your titties and shit like that. We love to do that. When
You could do that from those windows?
Not really. We
Yeah.
just did it anyway. And so, you know, I had to learn about commissary, and they had telethons at clubs in Oakland to give my baby daddy money to take care of my baby while I was gone. And, you know, I've seen, we had a thing called clothing exchange, but you're naked while you're doing that. And I've seen women get in fights on their periods. Naked.
And that
So blood's everywhere.
Oh.
And you don't know where it's coming from. This is the shit that nobody, my
I
friends
never
and me.
have even thought of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think of it. I wouldn't either. But just the fact that you can have a pillow, the mattress is only this big, so nothing's comfortable. The blanket
You don't get a
feels
pillow?
like burlap. No, you don't get a fucking pillow.
I didn't know they didn't
You can
give
make a pillow.
Yeah, you can make one, but you don't give you even a little shitty airline
Oh,
one?
where are you
Nothing?
talking about, Club Med? I'm talking about motherfucking Twin Towers Correctional Facility, Cesar Chavez Boulevard. No.
You get a
You
blanket
might
at
get
night
a
to cover
pillow,
up?
but it ain't about as thick as this
Yeah, that's
fucking
what I'm thinking.
napkin.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So, needless to say, any blessing that I get, I've earned it.
Can I ask you this for real? This is a real question.
Yeah.
You serve 4.5 months.
4 months and 18
days. And that's it? When you get out, is there you're on probation for how long? Are you on a house arrest or
No
are you
house
free to
arrest.
perform?
I think I had probation for like 5 years. And
But
I
free to-
came back to the Bay, so I had to go back to Long Beach for my probation hearings and for my probation officer meetings, whether I had the money or not. Bitch, you will be here day after tomorrow at 8 a.m. in court to see your probation officer, or we'll serve another bench warrant on you, and now you're going to go to prison.
So you
So
made
I had
them
to
all.
borrow money. I was doing comedy. I had some, but probation was a bitch.
Was it worth $50,000?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
4.5 months don't seem like that bad for $50,000.
Nah, I was living it up. I was living it the
That's
fuck
the thing.
up.
You got to keep the 50. It's not like they took that shit back.
and
So they
here's
never
the guy-
made you pay it back?
No, because here's the thing. I knew so much about banking. I knew this bank was going to go out of business.
No.
I knew it. And it's out of business. It was West Coast, I think it was West Coast Federal Savings or whatever like that. Savings and loan. I knew they were going to go out of business. I knew they were not taking care of the business. I knew that they were not doing their shit right. And I said, this bank is going to go out of business. Well, before I go out of business, let me get a little something. So that was another reason.
So there was no one to repay.
I had no reason to take that money. No reason. I had no reason to take that money.
But you got away with it for 10 years. Then you serve 4 months, 18 days, and then you're out. Probation's 5 years. So you do got to go meet your profs or whatever. But there's no payment. There's
trouble.
no nothing.
You
They
can't
didn't
get a
dock your
DUI,
stand
you
up,
can't get
nothing.
No, they didn't do. No.
Wow.
Because when I got out and was going to probation, the bank don't exist. Who am I paying my restitution to?
Mm-hmm. Damn.
They wanted me to pay it to the court. Well, I didn't steal it from the court. So we fought that, and I don't know.
Yeah, because the court's just going to steal that. What are they going to do? They ain't going to give it to nobody.
They're going to buy cocaine and
Yep,
bitches
that's
like
right.
they still do.
Yes, they do.
So
Isn't it funny everywhere around D.C. wasn't legal for cannabis for a long time, but D.C. was.
yes.
D.C. was.
Yeah, and I want to thank the people who brought me weed in D.C. when I was just there. Thank you.
They're probably
I
politicians.
left with my pockets full. Thank you, D.C.
All right, so you get out and you say you can't fuck up at all. There's no nothing.
Oh, no.
Or you will go to prison.
Yes, you will.
And what did they tell you were facing if you actually go to prison? Do you know?
Well, I don't know. I think I blacked out at that point. I don't know what the fuck they said.
That's got an
I
S
just said
on the end
prison.
of years.
I am walking a straight. So but what it is I did learn from that experience, and
what did you take away from that?
I rather had got it done when my baby was little and don't know nothing about it, except for when I
That's a
told
good
her.
point.
It didn't happen when she was 13, and I left her and she traumatized and all that shit. I got all that shit out my system. I didn't do nothing. It going to jail and having a child, it straightened my life out. So then I had a goal, and that was to take this comedy thing, what I was doing, and see could I just continue to make a living off of that, and it wasn't my goal to be the baddest bitch. I just was, because I'm not an industry. I've never been an industry chick. I don't do this shit for the industry.
That's
I don't
the
do
other
this
thing
stuff.
I love about you.
I don't give a fuck. If I never do another movie or television show again, I can still maintain my lifestyle because the people will come to see me. Because I work for the people, you know.
Mhm.
I want to make them happy. I've been offered bigger rooms than the one I'm in. I don't want it. I've been offered all kinds of shit. Not to say that I'm not trying to do other things, but just I have to stay connected with the people because that's my brand, you know. And because I've been to jail and because I've done dope and stuff like this, nobody can tell me about it. I already know. And so that's why I used to say when was it Nancy Reagan?
Just say no.
You say just say no. I said that bitch ain't had no good cocaine. No, bitch, what? You know, can anybody say no? Not back then. You know, and I just I don't regret any of it because it just made me the person who I am today, whoever that is. You know.
So no more mess ups, no nothing. You went clean and straight.
Never had a DUI. I don't do nothing. No, I'm not gonna get one.
You get driven.
I have drivers.
Yeah, that's right.
A driver is way cheaper than the money they're going to charge you for the DUI.
It's sure.
And the shit you're going to be going through during the
people.
court.
I dated a girl years ago that got one, and I watched what she had to go through out here. It was $10,000 just gone. You don't get that back.
That's off the rip.
That's off the top. Then it was AA meetings. It was
God,
no car for a year, taking public transportation or bumming rides. And I was like, man, it ain't worth it.
It's not worth it.
It ain't worth it.
Go out and drink as many margaritas as you want and call it Uber.
Yes.
Call it Lyft. That's what they're there for. There should be nobody getting DUIs these days, especially as many kids have been killed by drunk drivers. It's inexcusable, and I don't want to hear it. I'm not passing judgment, but I am. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it's just too many. If you didn't have that back and you just had to get some loser cab driver, okay, but not now. We got Lyft, Uber, we got car services and friends you can call and all that kind of stuff.
Taxis are still out there too.
Yep, them ragged and
nasty ass taxis are
still out there.
Yep. Can we talk about your dope days?
Yeah.
Well, how old were you when you first tried drugs? And what was it?
Well, okay, I came through the 70s, you know what I'm saying? And I graduated high school in 77. My parents, when they moved me from Oakland to Castro Valley, they wanted to get me away from the drug influence that was coming into Oakland. What they didn't realize, they was moving me to the suburbs where the real drugs were.
That's right. Where the people have money get the good drugs.
Shit.
Thank you.
They had all the pills, they had the weed, they had the cocaine, the mushrooms, the acid.
Yeah. Same when I grew up, like we did not have money, but I knew that if we knew kids who had money, they were the ones that had cocaine.
It was the kids who had money.
They were coke.
These were kids that were getting
we could get weed.
Porsches at 16 years old.
We call it practice weed. We had that dirt seeds and practice weed in Baltimore.
Stems and seeds that you don't need. Acapulco Gold is badass weed. That was Cheech and Chong.
Yeah. That's right.
So I was in the weed Cheech and Chong days. I had the Big Bamboo album with the big zigzag in it. And they were selling lids, which was 4 fingers worth of is an ounce, for $10.
$10.
$10.
And this is West Coast weed even back then,
Yeah,
though.
I used to steal my parents' quarters that they would use for the laundry and buy weed. And so I would say high school is when I started experimenting with drugs.
And also you're in the Bay Area up there, and that's all the
I'm in
LSD,
the
Timothy Leary. Yeah,
I'm
but
in
it's
the
out there.
burbs.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get my dope from the brothers. I got it from the white boys. And so that's when you try the mushrooms. That's when you try the mescaline. Loved that. And the orange sunshine, purple microdot, all that shit back in the day. So, yeah. Then the cocaine wasn't a big problem because that was a party drug and you be at the party and everybody doing party. This is back when boys used to dance with girls and we would dance all night long. This music blow, no big deal. It's when when you started cooking it up. When they started rocking it up, that's where the problems came. Now, not for me so much because I was what you call a functioning drug addict. Like I wasn't missing no shows because that's how I could get the cash. And that's how I could buy my drugs. That's why I didn't suck a lot of dick and become a crack whore, because I had money to buy my own shit. And at that time in Oakland, everybody was on dope. School teachers, bus drivers, mailmen, everybody. And you couldn't even get nobody to come over your house unless you had some drugs. So now it's 11:30 at night. Most people are going to bed. Well, bless you. Who's awake? The dope people and the dope man. So the only people that come over, nobody goes to bed as soon as they get off work. You got to eat dinner, watch a movie, Netflix, and chill before you go to bed. Well, us too, but now it's 1 a.m. for us, for entertainment. And so, you call a dope man, you get some dope, you don't want to do it by yourself, call somebody else, now you're up, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and da-da-da-da. But I just always was doing shows, like in 3 or 4 different clubs in the Bay. So if I fucked off this money today, I go get some money tomorrow. And then I had my kid was maybe about 4 and stuff, and I was legitimizing my drug use because if I fucked off $150 doing dope, I'd spend $150 on her. You know what I mean? I was trying to legitimize it. But it was not good, and it was stupid, and the paranoia is real, and that's really stupid. And the behavior that you can see in some people when they're doing that, you would never see them. You would never see that side of them if it wasn't for that dope. You would never, ever, ever experience that personality trait in those people, myself included, if it wasn't for that strong ass dope. And Oakland had some good shit. I mean, there was drug wars about the dope that was going on in Oakland. So, that's I am now just a bona fide, smoke a little weed, have a couple cocktails, and I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck these kids now, these mollies and this fentanyl and all this shit. You're playing fucking Russian roulette.
You are.
Well, I wouldn't take a grain and put it on my tongue these days. Never.
I don't take somebody's like, I got a painkiller, your back hurt. I'm like, nope, I ain't taking nothing.
Well, I didn't say that. But I
don't want anything that ain't coming from where I know.
My shoulder hurts and shit like that. Give me some relief. But I don't have the addictive behavior that I used to have before.
I love you. Listen, thank you for coming on here and doing this episode.
What aren't you supposed to ask me? What would I ask my 16-year-old
Good for
self?
you. Good for you. I'm about to. I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming here, sitting down here, being open and honest.
I wish I had better shit to talk about besides
my God.
dope
Are you
and bank
kidding
robbery.
Me? You're the best.
I mean, I've had some great things happen too.
Well, that's what you talk about on everying we talk
when
about.
I come back,
I'll
talk about.
You're welcome here anytime.
I'm working towards getting my late night talk show.
Tell us.
So hopefully, I mentioned it. It's not here yet, but Jimmy Kimmel is helping me with that. Because David Letterman put a fire. I recently met David Letterman. We fell madly in love with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I really refer to him now as my new boyfriend, David Letterman. And he texts Jimmy, and that sort of got the ball rolling. So we're working towards that goal right now. And what would I tell my 16-year-old self,
me,
right?
What advice would you give to 16-year-old Luenell?
Okay, don't fuck everybody and just stay away from the cocaine. Clearly.
Listen, that is very good advice.
Don't fuck everybody.
That is good advice.
Hello? And stay away from the fucking cocaine. Oh my God, if somebody had just told me that. But you don't do what people tell you at that age.
You do exactly the opposite of what they tell you.
But I feel like I'm a success story. I made it through that shit. And, I'm here to tell the tale. A lot of people aren't.
Yeah, you are. Please, one more time, promote whatever you'd like.
Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club every Sunday and Monday at 9:30 p.m. in beautiful Las Vegas. You can go to kimmelscomedyclub.com and purchase tickets. I do sell out. I'm not fucking playing with you. You got to get tickets so you will be like, oh, damn, I missed her. 4th of July weekend, lit. HeyLuenell.com to see where I'm going to be on my tour dates. And just keep your eyes on me. They're doing a documentary on me. It's gonna have a book to accompany it, and just shout out to my team, my publicist, Lisa Bennett, for hooking up this interview.
Yeah, she's great.
And my manager and best friend, William Hanford Lee Jr., my assistant, Ileana, my daughter, everybody who helps me get where I'm going. I don't know where the fuck I'm going. Like, she's like, you got to interview them. I'm like, who? They said, with Ryan Sickler. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And she's like, he's this guy. He's got a great podcast. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I pulled up, and he was out there to greet me. And I told Ileana, I said, he's kind of cute, though. You get my ass on up in here and do this interview.
Thank you, young lady. As always, Ryan Sickler on all social media, ryansickler.com. I'm out there on the road. Tickets are on my website. Go get them, ryansickler.com. Hope to see you at a show, and we'll talk to you all next week.